everybody, Jeff Morrell here with Tina Maki. She's been a realtor for 7 years, Northern Colorado, just made the move over to eXp. We got lots to talk about. It's going to be good. Stick around. Here we go. Tina Maki, good to see you.
Hello, Jeff Morrell. Nice to see you too.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, you're nursing your foot back to health.
I am, but hopefully we'll keep moving forward. It's a slow process.
Yep. You got a boot. You have a boot cast on now. Is that right?
I do. I have the nice gray boot cast. It's very nice. Plus I've got my scooter and my crutches. Try to get around.
There you go. No matter how it works, it's still a pain, you know?
It is. So, that's true. But
yeah, definitely. Well, I appreciate your time getting on here. Let's talk about some of your stories. So you've been in real estate for 7 years, right?
Yep.
What did you do? What did you do prior to that? What were you doing prior to real estate?
So prior to real estate, I was an at-home mom for 20 plus years. I've got two older adult kids, and then we've got two teenagers. So I was being an at-home mom, doing that and supporting my husband with work and stuff. And then the time came and we were both like, guess what? It's time for Tina to do something that she wants to do. So, and real estate was it. That's what I wanted to do.
Why real estate?
Well, for one, I mean, so many of us women, we always are like, oh, we love to see houses and we love to, all the interior design, all that stuff. So that was part of it. But then there was a part of it, I was friends with a builder's wife. And she would talk about, of course, the building side of it and, how that worked and just kind of the connections that they had with real estate. And so then I just started thinking more into the real estate side of it. And for me, I am a natural caretaker mom, want to make sure everybody's being taken care of. So the idea of being able to help people that are basically on a journey, I see it as a journey to purchase a home. And so often I think we don't really realize how big of a process and a decision it is for somebody to purchase a home. And so to be that person that's able to be their advocate and to walk them through the process and to really care about the people that I'm servicing. And to me, that's what happens. Everybody becomes, I always say you're my people or, you're my family once you're, a client of mine. So I think in that area, it just fits my character and what I love to do. So, so that's my goal with real estate. And that's why I chose to do it.
That's awesome. And I remember, we've made a lot of friends over the years. I've done this 20 years now. So, we've got a lot of great friends that have developed, through, because it is such a process, helping these people get through. They don't understand, especially, first time buyers have no clue, whatever. I got to go get approved by a lender. I got to do all this. I got, all these things, maybe fixing their credit to get to that point and helping them through that process, and then taking them out and showing them homes and
exactly
all of that, and competing offers, the different things we've had to deal with the last few years here. But you can build some great friendships along the way.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. And then, just, I kind of mom everybody, and I've got my adult kids. And so, with first-time home buyers, especially when you've got people in their 20s, which my kids are, my two. And the idea of, in all honesty, somebody not helping them to their best ability and I hate to say this, but it's in anywhere you go, somebody that really doesn't have their best interest at heart, it to me, I feel like hopefully when I'm helping somebody, I think of them as they are my family. So, I'm going to do what I can to make sure that they aren't taken advantage of or, something like that. So First time home buyers definitely do have a spot in my heart. And
Right.
military. My son
Yeah.
was in the military, so you know,
Okay.
kids
Great.
in the military, they need protecting too. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. What would go back to like your first couple years? I mean, like getting started. Did you get started like really quickly? There's a learning process obviously that happens, well, throughout your entire career. I'm still learning things 20 years later, but those first couple years,
absolutely.
especially like learning how to build a business, learning how to, generate leads, learning how to do like all the stuff that we need to learn. There's such a process here. What was it like for you? Like that first year, first couple years? Did you get off to a
It
quick start? Was it like
it
kind of
was
a
crazy,
okay,
honestly, because especially, I mean, I think people that have been in the business world for many, many years or are younger, generation are all up to snuff and savvy on, technology and how things work and,
right,
how to use social media. Well, I wasn't really doing those things, honestly,
yeah,
before I got into the business. So then, of course, I go into real estate where you you're not just a realtor for your clients. You have to learn so many different avenues. So it was definitely um, drinking out of a fire hose for me at first. I mean, I
yeah,
jumped in both feet, but um, it's been a difficult transition for me to go from um, what I used to do to now having to understand running a business and, understand what the industry is and understand, like how all these different avenues come into the real estate world. And
right,
so it was definitely difficult. I was in a bigger um, uh, brokerage, and it was all about training, 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 training. The problem was is that there wasn't anything that really necessarily connected the dots. It was just, make sure you do this and make sure you do that, but it was all scattered. And
right,
so, I was lucky enough to find a few agents that helped me with a few things. So at least I could do the job I was, trying to do with my clients. But I think that also just it fits into today where, and part of which I'm sure we'll get into the reason, part of why I came to EXP,
right, right,
to help me continue to build my business and have the support and the avenues to be able to do it faster and hopefully better.
right.
So
If you could go back, because there's going to be agents watching this who've been in the business for 20 years. There's going to be agents that just got licensed 2 weeks ago and they're trying to figure it out. We'll get a wide range of people that'll see this over time. If you could go back to yourself like that first year,
mhm.
just knowing what you know now, 7 years later, what would you tell yourself? Like, what would you do differently if you could go back there and say, and go to yourself and, hey, Tina, here's what you need to, don't do this, do this. I mean, is there anything that pops out to mind when you
um
think about that?
I think for me personally, and I know this isn't going to be for everybody, but for me
Sure.
personally, it's fear, not being fearful of
Yeah.
really going after and asking tons of questions and, finding the avenues that are going to help me understand it from step A to step Z. And
Right.
so, and what stopped me from doing that was fear. I was so like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And then there's this part of you, I don't know if anybody can relate, but you're like, I don't want to look stupid. So I'll just try to figure it out on my own. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Um,
Yeah.
no, I would absolutely not have the fear that I had then and just know that you can do it. Know, um, find the avenues that you need to find to help you start from point A to point Z. That's the best advice. I don't know if that's,
Yeah. That's
gonna
awesome.
help others, but if I could go back and do it over again, that's what I would do. I would
For sure.
I would not hesitate to just jump in there and don't worry about making a mistake.
Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. Everybody's
Yes.
been there. That's the thing. I mean, we all start, I mean, we all come out of real estate school and we're all licensed and now we have no clue what to do when
Exactly.
it comes to how do I do real estate.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's the one thing that just doesn't happen when we get licensed. I mean, it keeps us out of jail, which is great. We got to learn the
True.
laws and all that kind of stuff. We need to know all that. but it doesn't teach people how to build a business and how to run a
No,
business, you
true.
know?
That
So I
is
think,
very
get
true.
around the right people,
Yep.
mentoring, I mean, I learned a long time ago, you become who you hang around. So I was always trying to get myself into that crowd. I mean, I'd show up at realtor events here in town, and I would, go around. I mean, here's different ones I got to meet, and, we get talking, and they've been in the business for 15 years, man. Could we set a time on the calendar? I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee just for an hour and pick your brain. I mean, I can't tell you how many
Yes.
agents I got with in those early years, and still do to this
Yeah,
day. I mean, again, it's a constant learning process, but to get around the
absolutely.
right people and just learn from them, they'll tell you things, yeah, here's that one deal I did, man, never do this because here's what happened. You just the
Yes.
mistakes, we've all made our mistakes along the way for sure.
Yes.
So, very cool. So now I showed you eXp. We met,
Yep.
I showed you eXp. It's been at least a year and a half ago, maybe
Yep.
2 years ago now, coming up on that. And I know it wasn't the thing for you. The timing has to be right. It wasn't the right time. There was just what when you saw this the first time, I'm just curious. I mean, and we haven't talked about all this. I'm just like, were you like, did you leave that coffee that we had? Was it just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing? Or was it like, what thoughts did you have when I first showed you? I'm just curious.
Well, my first thoughts were that was
That guy's an
impressive.
idiot. Why?
No, that's impressive, but um, actually it was one of those things where when you first talked to me about it, I was like, you know what? He's saying the things that I want to hear,
Right.
but I'm happy. I'm happy where I am and I feel comfortable. And so at the time, it wasn't because I don't think I was necessarily looking at the time. It wasn't something where I'm like, okay, yes, absolutely.
Right.
And so for me, it was more like, you know what, that all sounds great and everything, but I'm good where I am, you know? And so, but it stuck in the back of my head.
Right.
EXP never left because I think if I recall correctly, I said to you, if I go anywhere, it would probably be EXP.
Right.
And I never thought any different than that.
Right.
So
Right.
that,
It's
I
hard
mean,
to unsee it once you see it. I mean, I think that's the one
I
thing
agree.
that I hear a lot of agents say that. I think it's just like, I mean, it's hard to get it out of the back of your mind. And I remember when I saw it, 4.5 years ago now, whatever, almost 5 years ago, and I wasn't looking. I told Sean, who reached out to me, I'm like, I'll certainly look. I've always been open to. If somebody called me today to go look at something, I go look at it. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
I've always been open minded. I've said no to tons of different things, but I've always been open minded enough to at least look at it and get the information.
Right.
And so I tell people that all the time. Anybody watching this, if you haven't seen it, like just at least look. You owe it to yourself to at least look. Now it might not be for you, or it might not be the right time. I'm never here to push anybody. And I know
Right.
I didn't push you. We stayed in touch
No,
and you gave me permission to do that, because I always
absolutely.
ask that. It's like, if you would have been like, no, I'm good. It was like, we wouldn't be having this conversation today. I mean, I wouldn't have. I don't want to.
Well,
I'm not going to
I
be a
do have
pest.
to say though, I am very grateful that I did say yes because you never pushed me, never tried to push anything on me. However, you offered for me to be able to see things without you running back to me and so did you watch it and did you did it, it was never that. It
Right.
was always like, hey, I don't know if this would be interesting to you. And in all honesty, for a while I wasn't watching them. I was just
Sure.
doing my own thing. But I think as I started to realize um and started to think a lot more, what do I want for my business, and how do I grow to where I want to be, because I
Right.
was feeling stagnant in my business, as far as I just felt like I wasn't able to get past certain things, and a lot of times that's you know you as a person and things that you have to do, but there's also other things that you realize, for me to do these things, I need to get around this or do this or have these, avenues or options to go to. And so I do not remember what the first video was that I watched.
Hmm.
And but I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. And so I watched it and I was like, that was interesting. So then I watched a few more of them And really what I saw genuinely was just people encouraging each other and wanting to share what they do in their business and how they've been able to do their business. And this is who I, have been connected with. And this is who, and so the whole idea of being able to have people that are open, for one, to share so much, and that you're not put in with, well, this is your group of people and you have to talk to these people. You could talk to anybody, I
Yeah.
mean. And so it opens up a whole world of you being able to more easily find the avenues that you need to grow,
Yeah.
whether it be personal or, make your business grow, or, so I think,
That's
which
awesome.
that
Yeah.
goes hand in hand, I think. So
And I hope people that are watching this, if they're thinking like, man, I just feel stuck, or I feel like I don't have many people to talk to, whatever, like just rewind the last, 2 minutes and listen to that again. Cause I think that's the thing. Like I know, it's a virtual brokerage, like, and that's
absolutely, yeah.
scary for some people. Now
Hmm.
I'll be honest, I've worked from home since 2009. 2008, when it hit hard. I had my team, and we had a big bill every month, between payroll, two people, three people on payroll, and all my marketing costs and everything else. I mean, it hit hard.
Yeah.
14 grand a month is what it was costing me. And, that bill went up in the
Right.
last recession. It doesn't go down. You're
Right.
trying to do, you're buying more leads. You're looking everywhere you can look to find deals to give to your team,
Right.
whatever. And I felt responsible for that. So my expenses were through the roof, whether there's a closing or not. So I'm
Right.
dipping into savings. I'm doing everything I can to keep, the wheels on the bus. And it was challenging. But I think, I don't know. I think the changes happened, but I remember I had to leave the office. I had a $600 a month office bill, and nobody was
Hmm.
ever there. So I'm tightening up costs. So that's 7,000 a year I could save. So I started working from home in 2009. So when I saw this virtual brokers, like, that didn't bother me. But for a lot of people, especially newer agents or ones, did you go to your office a lot before?
I would go in spurts, and
Okay.
that was one of the things that was mentioned to me about, Tina, you're a personable person. You need people, around. And I was like, yeah, but a lot of times we aren't always in the office at the same time. And, and I thought, I need to create this. And of course, then I broke my leg. But so, um, but the good thing is with that is I've been on a lot of calls and stuff like that. I went and watched a couple of Sean Kokoska's,
Yeah.
virtual things. And I was just like, this is so cool because you don't feel like you're an intruder,
Yeah.
and every
Yeah.
time I've been into one of the, meetings, it's always, everybody's welcome. And, so, and you can pick up golden nuggets from every single one of them. So that's what
Yeah.
I've been doing since I've been home quite a bit, and not out as much. But it's funny, I have been putting meetings together, of course not right now, but they're a couple weeks down the road,
Yeah.
to get out there and be with people. And it's not necessarily having to do it in an office or be around the people in your office, because um, I think it's, for one, it's what you make of it. But once you realize that, there's just such a wide open range of, people that you can connect with and things that you can do, it's amazing. I am
Yeah.
excited. I'm very excited about it.
That's awesome. Well, one of the things, I just got back, of course, our convention, eXp was here last week. So I was out there. The theme, the word that just everybody kept going on, the word I heard more than any other word out there. 6,000 agents from all over the country, and even some from other countries that were here. The word that I kept hearing was collaboration. That
Yes.
was the word. It's just like, and that emphasis on how we're one big giant team in that sense.
Right.
Nobody here is looking to, like, this is my stuff. These are
Right.
my secrets. Here's how I got to be the biggest agent in town, and I don't want anybody else to know. I think there is a shift, a paradigm shift here when we all have ownership in the company. with that
Right.
stock. Like everybody wants Tina to do great things and succeed. The better Tina does, the better we all do. The better our brand
Right.
does. The more agents that want to join us, the better our, the better for our shareholders with the stock. I mean, it's a win all the way around. So everybody's sharing and collaborating in a way that I haven't seen in 20 years. I mean, I really haven't. Not to this level. There's always
Yeah.
people working together and stuff. And one of the things I love about the agents here in Colorado Springs, I mean, there is a lot of agents that do collaborate and work together, all different companies and everything. It's awesome. I mean, we really have a great realtor, community here in the Springs, and I love it. But I know, like, when I was at Keller Williams and I was there, and I was, one of the big guys in town here with that, and they always wanted me to train, and I did. I love doing it, but I'm not going to give away everything. I'm just not.
Right.
I was paying 20 grand a year to be part of a coaching program. And if you think I'm going to come in here and just give that all away for free, like, not going to happen. And bottom line, I am training my competition. That's just the truth of it. And
Right.
so, but here it's different. I'll give away everything and teach people everything that we're doing, because the better they all do, the better we all do. And it's a win for everybody. Yesterday, Tuesday, we did like a mastermind. I don't know if you saw it or not. I would tell you to watch it if you haven't. But well, you were on there,
Yeah.
Aaron and I.
Yep.
Talking about all these different guarantees and things that we've been able to do over the years. That I mean, a lot of those guarantees got me into the top 20 in, I don't know, 2.5 years being in the business. And we gave away all that stuff yesterday. Here's how to do it. We uploaded the files to the workplace group so people could create their own kind of things and turn those into whatever they want. I mean, but that stuff I would have never given away back
Right.
in the day, because I was
Right.
paying a lot of money to get access to how to do these things. Well, here we're giving it all away and sharing everything.
Yeah.
It's really
Well,
different.
and it is a little bit of a different, being newer at EXP. It is a little bit of a different, you kind of gotta unteach yourself a little bit, which I've always been, I'm like, hey, I was there, and I still feel like, in a sense, that I'm there. I mean, I'm 7+ years in, but
Right.
you still feel like I got a lot to learn,
Sure.
and um I don't mind helping somebody. And that's just kind of who I am, but there's still, like you said, there's that little bit of, like, we can just share everything, and it's
Yeah.
not, it's only going to help all of us if we can get together and share what we know and what we do and encourage each other in that. And so there's a little hesitancy, kind of just to teach yourself that like that kind
Right.
of a thought process. But it is very refreshing, very refreshing.
Very
So
cool. What are you most excited about as far as making the move over here to EXP?
I think for me it's growth. I think I've got an opportunity now to grow as much as I want to, as big as I want to, and I think it does put a little bit more pressure on me, for those of you out there that are a little bit more, you know, kind of pull back a little bit and wait. But it's very refreshing to know, and to know that, I mean, if I can toot your horn a little bit, you stuck with me for a year and a half, and reached out to me, checked in, and how are you doing? You always said you can always call and ask me anything. It doesn't matter if you're coming to EXP.
Hmm.
You were always there for that, and I always trusted that.
Yeah.
And when I did call you and say, mm, I think I might be ready to, right away you were like, I'll come, I'll drive up to, Loveland, and we'll sit down again. And you answered all my questions for me and said, all right, just let me know what's going on. And um, that to me was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I just knew that I had you, but now learning more, that I've got a whole company behind me that is going to care and, help me through it. And not
Yeah.
everybody will, and that's fine, but I have the opportunity to find that. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful
No.
for that.
Absolutely. Well, and I appreciate it. I mean, I want it to be a great experience for everybody. And I know it's not perfect. I mean, there's going to be holes. There's going to be things that balls dropped here and there and things. I mean, no company out there is
And
perfect.
that's, yep.
Right. But I will say, I've seen them do so much work and improvement on things, even, and still improving things. I mean, always a work in progress. I mean, I've just, been here now for, coming up on 5 years. It's been amazing. I want it to be a great experience. But I think part of my thing too is like just, again, whether you ever come or not, like I feel like I've been in this 20 years and I've had great success over 20 years and we've been able to do a lot of things, over the 20 years, with our business, but just in our personal lives and travel and all kinds of stuff, the freedom I think that so many people long for and look for that they tend to find it just doesn't happen in this business the way they thought it was going to. And I've
Right.
been able to figure that out. So there's that part of me like I want to give that back to as many people as possible,
Right.
and part of that is just like, we do this mastermind every Tuesday. Come, whether you're with EXP or not, come. We
I
don't
say
talk
come.
EXP. Come. They're
Absolutely.
awesome. Every week it's something good. There's just good topics, good discussion. I mean, I'm getting, that's open to anybody, anytime to come check that out. Whether you ever make a move here or not. And I feel like I have no problem with, whether you move or not. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
but at least come and be a part of that. It'll help your business for sure.
Well,
But
you're
but
gonna
don't
have
be
to.
afraid to look at this.
Right, absolutely. And you're gonna have to now, it took me a year and a half to kind of come on. So then we'll have to, a year from now, we can come and see how far we've come, what
Yeah,
all I've
for
taken
sure.
advantage of and learned.
For sure.
So,
Where do you want to be? Like, if you could wave a magic wand 5 years from now, where would Tina's business be?
um, I don't, it's funny because what I want for my business is I want to be able to myself be able to do between 20 and 30 deals a year for me. And
Hmm.
that's plenty.
Sure.
Um,
That's a
but
good
what I'd
business right
also,
there.
yeah, and what I'd also like to do is I'd really love to be able to get myself into a situation where I can help others. I can, mentor or help others grow, bring others on into the company, and be able to help, like you said, where you really feel like you're helping somebody out, like you're
Yeah.
really showing them and bringing them value by bringing them into EXP. And
Yeah.
so I think, I already feel wonderful about that, and I'm looking forward to it only getting better, and me being able to, offer that to people and really learn to understand and um, help somebody know what their path is and what their avenue is and what they're looking for personally to help them grow, and at least get them in the right direction. So
Yeah. That's awesome. That mom side of you, that
I know
nurturing
I
side of
can't
you.
help it. It just will not go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. That's how you broke your foot, probably kicking one of your kids.
I was holding my granddaughter and I was
You went to-
stepping down and didn't work. So, but I saved her. I did save her.
There
She
you
did
go.
not get hurt.
That's awesome. Well, good for you. Any last things you want to share at all before we wrap it up? I
Um,
appreciate everything you've said. Some great things. I mean, there's a lot for people to listen to here. Let me ask you this: if there's somebody out there that maybe they've seen EXP
mhm,
and they're sitting back and they're trying to figure it out. I mean, it's just, it's the time of year when more agents move than any other time. I mean, it's slowed down a little bit. The shift is happening, of course, and it's happening fast. I think there's a lot of agents. I think we need to be looking at where every dollar is going. I think there's lots of ways to make more money over here, and,
absolutely.
and I think, it is a good time for people to at least look at this and evaluate it for yourself and, compare it to where you are now. But let's say there's somebody out there like you who has seen it, but they're sitting back. Maybe there's fear, there's uncertainty. They're just, is there anything you would say to that person, that's maybe where you were, 6, 8 months ago?
Um, yeah. I think one thing is go with your own gut. If
Sure.
you feel like the situation isn't right for you, make sure that, you're looking for what your needs are and what you need to do for you.
Definitely.
And then second of all, I think that I would definitely tie into the, like Tuesday masterminds, if there's other calls that you can get in on that would help you to see the collaboration and see how much information just from regular conversations going on that you can pick up and learn that is, I mean, it's just there's golden nuggets everywhere. And then I think really ask the questions that whatever it is that you're questioning, ask those questions over to whoever it is that's talking to you and wanting to help you come into EXP. Because I think the more you understand it and the more you know it and understand how your needs are going to be met through EXP, I think it would make your decision much easier and quicker.
Yeah.
to get yourself moving forward.
Yeah. I know the one thing I tend to hear from not everybody, but most people who hesitated on it after they've been here a while, the one thing I tend to hear is, "Man, I should have done it sooner. I should
Don't
have
say
done it
that. Don't say.
sooner." But no, you're good. The time was
Probably
right.
every
It's got to
one
be
of
the
us
right
thinks
time.
that.
It's got to be the right time for everybody. But I think the one thing I know for me, it's 20 years of doing this. It's without question the single best business decision I've ever made, making the
Right.
move over here. It's helped our business. I'm getting new ideas every Tuesday. I mean, a couple weeks ago, my
Absolutely.
wife and I, it was funny because we were on here. It was one of those Tuesdays. I don't know if you were on or not, but we had a guy. He's back in, where's he at? He's in Nashville. And he's on here doing a thing. He's been in real estate for a long time. And he talked about how, we were talking about just the shift and, ways to get business and leads and stuff and watching our money. And he threw out this thing. He said, here's one of the things that I've done. He said, go find a charity that you like.
Yes, I was on that one.
Yeah, find a good charity, find a few charities, something that you can feel passionate and good about, whatever, and call them up and go meet with the financial director of that charity. Like they're, the nonprofits, they're in fundraising mode 365 days a year. That's a nonprofit. They're always looking to make money. And of course, what happens in this kind of economy, people start pulling back on donations, whatever. Go to those charities, meet with them. And if it's something you feel good about, offer to them, hey, anybody that comes to me and mentions your charity, when after we close, I will come to your charity and I'll write a check as a donation for $1,000 or
Yes.
$500 or $750, whatever. And next thing, and you might get in the door then to go meet with the whole staff of the charity and tell what you do and hear more about what they do and create like a partnership there. It doesn't cost you anything but a cup of coffee and an hour of your time. And next thing
Right.
you know, this guy's done like 11 deals or something like that in the last year, and it was a homeschool charity is what he was
Yep.
was
Yep.
supporting. And I thought, what a great idea. Like, that's, I mean, again, I'd much rather give $1,000 to something that I'm passionate about versus
Absolutely.
$1,000 to Zillow or some big corporation that's going to feed me a lead. And because it's more than $1,000. I mean, you're talking like all these 25% referral fees and these big giant corporations and stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just like, man, what a great idea. 20 years of doing this, I never thought about that. I told my wife afterwards, like, we got to go meet with some
It,
charity, you
I
know?
know. I'm working on that one too. That to me is brilliant.
And you could go meet with 5 or 6 or 8, whatever, like, just why not? If it brings you some deals and it helps out them, and it's like, I'm like,
Exactly.
there's
And
some
I'm
just great ideas getting thrown out all the time here, and I'm
absolutely.
learning every week. And
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
No, I'm very, very grateful for all I've been able to be exposed to so far, and I'm definitely looking forward to, getting myself in there. I was kind of like bummed out that I didn't get to go to EXPCon, but I was like, I'd probably be pretty overwhelmed if I tried to go do that already.
yeah.
So
Your
hopefully next
scooter,
year, we'll see.
zzz, zipping around Vegas, and there you're
Look
yeah.
out, Tina's coming through on her scooter.
I hear you. Well, maybe next time. Next year you'll
There you
be there.
go.
It's a lot of
There
fun.
you
It's
go.
definitely worth going to the big events, meet more people. I mean, you know what it feels like because there's so many relationships. It feels like a big family reunion every 4 or 5 months when we all get together. It's a lot of fun. So, anyway, well, I'm excited to have you here. You're going to do great things here. We'll take your business to a whole nother level. People that are out there that have seen it or haven't looked, at least look. And once they've seen
Hmm.
it, I would tell you, like, don't be afraid to step over that line and dip your toe in. I mean, just see what it's like. Come to our masterminds. Just participate
Absolutely.
a little bit and get a feel for it. But also, you're not locked in here like you're not locked in anywhere else. I mean, you
No.
might be here 6 months, or it's just not what I'm looking for. You can always move. I'm like, that's when I saw it. I'm like, what do I have to lose? Looks like I have a lot to gain, but what do I have to
Right.
lose?
And if
I
you're
don't think I have anything to lose.
Yeah, and if you're feeling stagnant in your business and you're just feeling like it's just and even losing your passion to be
Yeah,
able to get around people that are like-minded in regards to wanting to grow, wanting to be the best that you can be, gaining back the passion of, what you do. Um, it is amazing to me when you are able to collaborate with other people and it brings back that passion and helps remind you, why you do what you do, you
yeah.
know?
And we
So
all need that at times. We all need those people to come in there and, you're having one of those days or one of those
exactly.
deals. It's like, help,
Right. I exactly.
oh my gosh, I'm ready to,
Why am I doing
yeah.
this?
We've all been there. So anyway, well, Tina, I appreciate your time. Again, it's great having you here. There's gonna be some big things ahead for sure. So, guys, if you have any questions at all for Tina, myself, just put them in the comments, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. One of us or both of us will certainly get back to you. If you're on my YouTube channel,
Absolutely.
hit the subscribe button, whatever. Hit that notification button. I'm doing this a couple times a week. Interviews with a lot of great agents. You'll always pick up some nuggets, and you're always welcome to those Tuesday masterminds we're doing every Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. It's the same Zoom link every week. We don't talk eXp. It's just value content every time, and you're always welcome, regardless of whether you ever make the move over here or not. So, Tina, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your week, and look forward to seeing you soon. Okay,
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jeff. I appreciate it.
you got it. Have a great day. Thanks,
All
everybody.
right.
We'll see you
You
soon. Bye
too.
bye.
Yep.